Can you hear
literally,
me? I can hear you now.
literally just sat here and talked for a solid 30 seconds,
I was trying to get your attention.
being like, "Hey Dom, I'm using a monitor this time so I can hear myself talk to make sure my audio is right because yours is always super nice and mine's always super low. And now, you know what's really low? Mute. That's as low as you get."
A little bit.
Yeah. All right, let's start that again. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 41. It's me, Ernie, and Dom. Welcome back, baby.
What's up, baby?
There you go.
Your room looks so good.
I'm trying.
My room
I'm trying.
looks like trash. Like
my parents were at of all places, Bloomington Coat Factory and saw this. They're like,
all
"Oh,
right,
we got to get that." I was like, "That's great." A Jim Lee Batman, I'll always take it. Nice. What is that on an orca?
Namor from Black
Oh,
Panther.
bitch, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, so I can't remember if I did this already, but you know what? I was on mute, so we'll try it again. This episode is always brought to you by Tough Wraps. Use code Joystick at checkout to get 10% off of your purchase of gear, supplements, and apparel at toughwraps.com. Boom. I need to just do that video, like separately record one, and then just have it play so I don't like get caught up in the semantics. But how you doing, man? How's life?
I'm good, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, I think not too long, but just long enough to feel like it's been forever. Yeah, so last time we talked, we were talking about this first topic for today, just about to come out. We're like, oh, this is going to be cool. Can't wait. Hopefully this will be dope.
Oh, yeah.
FJK Rowling, she's the worst, but, separate the art from the artist kind of thing, which I think is almost an episode like sentence. I could just have another clip of being like, let's separate the art from the artist and just play it every time we bring up some people of interest. But the game came out.
Yep.
I got the deluxe edition, not to brag, but I got the deluxe edition.
You bought a console for this,
dude. Yeah. And I played early, and then you went on vacation and somehow still beat the game before I did.
That's the lack of responsibility in my house. So.
I am still literally the minute you were like, well, I beat the game just in time for Destiny. I was like, well, I'm done fucking playing this. Like, it wasn't like a race, but like, it's like, damn, I felt real slow. And then of course I'm seeing everything pop up online. I can't tell you how great the game was before everybody had it. And then how much I started to hate the game when my algorithm on every social media outlet was just, here's the best combo in Hogwarts Legacy. I don't care. I want to learn myself. I want to learn my own way, but
yeah, I mean, the game itself was a shit ton of fun. I put a bunch of hours into it. I did just about everything side quest wise, but when I beat it, I pretty much cliffed off of it. There was like no reason for me to go back. Unfortunately, there's nothing DLC related that they have planned yet.
Really?
To go with it. They are talking about a new game that'll take place in the United States at the Wizarding School in the US, Ilvermorny, which like there's nothing about. So that's pretty cool because like that gives them the opportunity to not have to kind of constrain to a book or something that's already been visually represented. It will be something that they can kind of build from the ground up. So that sounds cool. But I mean, the game itself was a lot of fun. The story was cool. The kind of callbacks to all of the source material was really cool. I mean,
it was detailed down to like passages from the book.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Slow walks, and it was descriptive of everything they were seeing in their walk to the game. So the detail, it's kind of, it's why I think we continue to stand by the art is better than the artist, right? This separation there, because the developers, they took their time, they really put a lot of love into the project. You can tell because everything's so crisp and clean. There's no like weird clipping. There's your character doesn't halfway morph into a wall sometimes. Like everything is silky smooth, and then
it was really well polished when it came out, which is not something that happens very often in games recently, where like it's just completely polished and there's not a lot of technical issues around it. I think that wasn't necessarily the case on PC. I heard that there were some issues with PC, but like
really
not like The Last of Us, which has come out like this week, and apparently it was done by the same people who did the Batman Arkham Knight PC port, and Batman Arkham Knight PC port was a shit show for a very long. It was unplayable for a very long time until they fixed it. But yeah, apparently The Last of Us is suffering from the same problems where it's a piece of shit. And I think like the funniest thing that I've seen about that is Greg Miller from Kind of Funny, who's like very much like the anti-PC train, like essentially just putting out a fucking smear campaign against PC gamers for the last 3 days because of how bad The Last of Us is ported over, where he like put out a video where he's like, I can help you fix this. First, throw your PC in the trash and then just sit on your couch and play it on PlayStation 5.
Go buy a console. Shout out to our chat, Mahaffey. Yes, the garlic memes are hilarious. Professor Garlic.
Yeah.
Bro. My favorite bit, by the way, is that I'm pretty sure every person who's into the female form was like simping real hard on that character, and then when it twisted, it was like, oh, she's into Serona. Yeah. Everybody was like, no. They've given her a love interest. She should have been single, and only I could fantasize about loving her, but now I know she's taken. Like that shit was priceless. Obviously, again, I think again for Serona, I definitely loved the fact that even against all the bullshit from JK coming out, against transphobia and all this, or for being transphobic, and then putting a character in there, I could care less that the name was Sir Ona. I didn't even notice, dude. Half of these names don't fucking make sense. So I'm not really going to be hard up on it, but I can see where you get bent out of shape, maybe.
Like the whole argument, and it's like not even just that, but it's like the whole argument about how JK has named her characters in the past, and it's like Seamus Finnegan is the one Irish character, and Cho Chang's the one, Asian of person of Asian descent character, and you're like, yo, it's a book made for fucking kids.
Yeah, dude.
Like, it's not like fucking War and Peace. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a book made for goddamn children.
Yeah.
Of course, the names are not going to be like completely intricate with a bunch of nuance. They're made for fucking kids. Like, yeah. The Irish guy's going to be named Seamus Finnegan because that's an Irish sounding name. I mean, now you know that he's Irish.
And
Cho Chang's a little racist. I will get that. Like, that's a little racist, but I mean,
it just feels like low hanging fruit. Like she was like, "Oh, I heard somebody get called that one time. That was a really great slander. I'm going to use that."
I think I watched the Eric Andre show, and he said that.
Like, it's to me, it's funny because like even the spells, they've got legit words in them. Expelliarmus, you're expelling something. Come on, dude. So like that stuff. I mean, you even look at English to Spanish, right? There's similarities in those languages. That's why there's some words you can kind of get. Like you can, unless they're hot dog or item, which are just eat them and hot dog,
right?
But no, I mean, like it's funny to me that they even Serona was like in there, but true to form, it was again they just kind of left it out there. Now but I love the game, I love the detail. I mean, I enjoyed things like just being able to hop on a broom and fly whenever I wanted. That was dope. Like that's what we all want to do in real life. I enjoyed the spells. I enjoyed just the class itself, going to classes. And then
that game kind of shifts later on in the game too, where you're kind of like Newt Scamander from Fantastic Beasts, and you're capturing a bunch of like actual beasts and stuff, which was really cool. And I was like, "Fuck, I just want a game like that."
Yeah, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect it to go like from you're battling the Goblin Rebellion into like I'm gonna go catch me some little fluffy bunny thingies and put it and suck it in my bag, which is a weird sentence, but it's what happens. But no, I enjoyed it. I'm going to continue to play it in my free time, but
I'll go back to it for sure.
As my first foray back into having an up-to-date console, that was a great game. I'm hoping Star Wars Jedi Survivor, like that's
going to knock your fucking socks off. Have you played Fallen Order?
I haven't.
You have to play it. It's like $3, like $3. It's super cheap right now.
It's on Game Pass, which is even
then fucking download it. Don't dick around. You have to play that before Jedi Survivor.
That's fair.
It's it's the best Star Wars game, like best single player Star Wars experience I've ever had.
I think the last Star Wars game I actually bought that wasn't for like a niece or nephew was back on the 64. I can't remember the name of it. It was
you were basically the Old Republic, dog. I know you did.
Well, yeah, that I mean,
we all bought the Old Republic.
I was thinking console, but yeah, to your point, that game was awesome. My dude was just fat and jacked. He just crushed.
Mike says play it on story mode. Absolutely. I completely agree. Don't fuck around on hard. Don't fuck around on normal. Play it on story and you can't die. And you can just enjoy the game and go through it.
Oh, you don't? Which game? Both games? Because you can do that on both.
I'm sure both games will be like that. Yeah.
It's that's what's up. I'm definitely just going to do that, just get through it and get the storyline itself. But yeah, good stuff. Definitely good times. Rolling into something a little bit more aggressive. Let's see if I got something you put on the screen here, because man, was that amazing. I sat in theater.
John Wick? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, bro.
That is like the movie of the fucking decade.
As soon as this stupid picture loads. Yeah, so I went last Saturday, right? Like sat by myself in the theater, prime time. I booked early enough. I got the front row against the rail, my favorite, keep my feet up, dead center. And every once in a while when I go to the movies, I get annoyed at people because they're sitting there in the previews and the trailers and all that stuff. They're just like chatting it up and chirping. And I get real like, please don't be that guy during the movie. Just shut up and watch it. And then somebody made one of the people in the group cracked a joke early on. And I was like, never mind. You keep fucking talking. I want to hear everything you've got to say this whole movie. There was a lady to my left, 2 seats over. She had to have been my parents' age. And she was cackling out loud. Like every time, like, what's his name? Clancy Brown would like make like a weird fucking face. She would lose it. Like it was the best. It's been a while since I've gone to the theater to see like an action movie by myself. Marvel doesn't really count, but like this was 3 hours. I had to piss in the middle of it. I picked like the one time I think there was no action, just somebody walking down some stairs for about 15 seconds, and I like ran back in. And it was when the let me throw this flag up here.
I mean, we're gonna talk spoilers to this whole thing, so fuck it.
Yes. So long story short, it's when the marquee was trying to hit up the radio station gal. That little right before that happened, I was like, all right, I could feel the act is changing from act 2 to act 3. Let me go urinate and come back, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
let's start from the beginning.
The opening scene, with the opening scene was like literally my only kind of like I could completely do without this, which is where he goes and kills the elder to try to get his ring back that he gave up in John Wick 3, which there's no kind of levity there because it's not the same guy.
Yep.
It's a different elder because the other elder died.
Right.
But that kind of is the cascading effect of the whole movie. I thought the Osaka Continental scene was the coolest fucking scene in the whole movie. I mean, the Hotline Miami, like over the head, fucking 15-minute shootout with the Dragon's Breath shotgun was fucking amazing. But Hiroyuki Sanada is like one of my favorite Japanese actors of all time. I mean, the last thing I saw him in was Bullet Train, and he was incredible in Bullet Train. He played fucking Hanzo Scorpion in Mortal Kombat, the new Mortal Kombat. He was in The Last Samurai. I mean, like, this dude is awesome. And then
he's great at dying. You're right.
Yeah.
He's wonderful at dying in movies.
Yeah. And I mean, and then you have fucking Donnie Yen, who's arguably, other than Jet Li, the best Chinese martial artist in movies.
That's fair.
Like, I mean, if you look at this guy's catalog, Donnie Yen, and I've been watching Donnie Yen since I was a kid watching Kung Fu movies, like Iron Monkey, Once Upon a Time in China 2, like all of those. And like, he is like at Jet Li's caliber. I mean, he's played Ip Man for the last,
I was going to say that was my introduction was Ip Man. Yeah.
And, he is blind in the movie. He fights like a blind man, which is really fucking cool. The way that because he's not like a lot of things in movies when you have like a blind guy fighting, he's like supernatural and he can like fucking see, but not
Right.
see. Like he's throwing up like door sensors,
The doorbell
so that he knows where
sensors?
people
So
are,
good.
and he's stumbling around and stuff.
Are you dead, John?
But I mean, he fucking
answer that.
killed. I loved that whole scene in Osaka, and the movie like just progressed from there. That when he talks to the when the Marquis talks to the radio lady in Paris,
Mhm.
and it is literally the Warriors, where she's like on the
everybody out there listening, just throw it
yeah,
up like
it's the Warriors. It's the fucking war. It's amazing.
so good. Like the what was great for me, and this is probably the most, I don't know, not necessarily underrated, but unspoken thing, is the music. Going up those stairs, that song that she's just kind of like, and he just starts going up the stairs. That song that kicks in, I've heard that on like my Justice Pandora station over and over. So I'm sitting there just fucking headbanging in the middle
And
of the
I
theater
love
by
like
myself. Like,
ravey techno remixes of like classic rock songs. Like Paint It Black was in the movie.
So
like
in French.
Yeah,
Right?
it was so good. I mean,
dude, yeah, that scene was ridiculous. I don't know how many times you can be hit by a car and keep getting up, but you know, it's John Wick, right?
Right.
His bones are jelly, but somehow they stiffen up when he needs them to. Like and people kept saying, "Oh, it ramps up from the first one." You think they can't top it, and then they do. I'm like, you're right. It ramps up in different ways. Like being in Paris and having cars go in a circle and almost hit you, and then not hit you, and that kind of stuff. Or the way it ramps up is even visually like that. You're right. The top view with the dragon breath shotgun, just that was so unique. And then on top of that, going up the stairs, down the stairs, and Donnie M being like,
Scott Adkins,
I need you to get up the stairs.
In Berlin after he like rejoins the Ruska Roma.
Yes.
And he goes to kill the guy, and like it's Scott Adkins in a fat suit, and it was the worst looking fat suit I've ever seen in my life.
It was so fun. Like, dude, this guy.
Fun.
It was like Kingpin. It was basically Kingpin, but like in John Wick.
And like he's fighting him, and he's like getting his ass kicked the whole time, and then he like throws him down some stairs and breaks his neck. It's fucking awesome.
Mr. Nobody was surprisingly awesome. Like he had zero backstory. He could have been a soothsayer. He had a book full of sketches and numbers and shit. You're like, what is all that? They don't answer any questions. They're like, you're just going to be left in the lurch.
I thought there was a dude from Lupin, the French like heist show, but it's not because that guy's French.
Right.
But he looks like him. But I mean, and Mike brought this up when we were talking about the movie. Is like the best part about the lore of the John Wick stuff is that they tell you things. There's no fucking explanation. They just leave like, okay, what's a harbinger, an adjudicator, and a tracker? Like these are all fucking terms that they have used, and you're like, okay. I mean, it's cool. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like, what's a tracker? I guess he tracks. I mean, it makes sense.
And he's got it in. I think you mentioned how the dog was going to be like this kind of scary movie monster. I mean, every time that guy yelled nuts, I was like, oh shit.
The scene in the house where like the dude's walking through and you hear him growl, you hear the dog,
dude,
growl.
Everybody was like, oh shit.
Like her face comes out like a raptor from Jurassic Park.
that old lady next to me, she was like, oh my God. I heard 3 dudes behind me go, oh damn. I was like, ooh.
I didn't tell you this, but I told Mike before watching the movie because Mike is like me when it comes to animals and movies. Like I said, Mike,
this dog dies.
I said, look, I'm going to tell you one spoiler for this movie because it will positively affect your viewing experience. There are many points in this movie where it looks like that dog is going to get killed. The dog makes it through the whole movie.
Dog is a fucking savage. They should just have. I know that there's talk about like a spin-off series from the same world, but with Ana de Armas. They should just have that dog be the main character.
That's not. There's not talk of that. That movie comes out next year.
What? No, dude.
It's Ballerina. It's about John Wick's family.
Gross. I mean, no offense. She's in a lot of stuff these days. I would have rather seen the concierge from the Japanese hotel, from the Japan Continental, go on her like rage mission.
Well, did you stay till the end of the credits?
No.
There was a scene at the end of the credits, Ernie.
They never do that in the movie.
I know.
Everyone
So
before.
the scene at the end of the credits is Donnie Yen's character Kane is watching his daughter, and he has a bouquet of flowers, and he's walking up to her, and then you see the concierge from Osaka, because she said she was going to kill him. If John didn't kill him, she said she was going to kill him, and she pulls out a knife and she walks up to him, and it cuts to black.
Damn. Is she wearing slippers, dog? She's being real sneaky, aka sneaky.
She was like wearing a hood and all that stuff.
Damn. That's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, how about the send off for Lance? How about Lance Reddick? Like,
dude, I got choked
died,
up. I got
and
choked
then
up.
like it's super eerie that his character died in the beginning of the movie, and that Winston's whole story in the movie is about him grieving his death.
Like,
super eerie.
What was the phrase they said? Such is life.
Yeah, such is life.
Like, I was like, just every time I was like, oh, because obviously the first time, such is life. I'm like, okay. Then he dies. Okay. And then of course, Ian McShane character says it later. I'm like, no. Don't you fucking die. And of course, nothing happens to him, which is fine. I'm hoping he sticks around, but I don't want him to die in real life either. I'm like, don't.
But
crazy.
I mean, the movie itself, top to bottom, was like exceptionally done. I thought it was beautiful. So many scenes hit really, really hard. Keanu Reeves speaks 380 words in the whole fucking movie, and it's amazing.
I honestly I noticed that from the jump, right?
He didn't say shit.
Lawrence Fishburne opens up the whole movie like, long live the king and shit. Like, this is a big magical speech. And of course, there's like, are you ready, John? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, he's gonna be Judge Dredd. He's gonna say like 30 words. He's saying shit, this movie. And even Mahaffey, he put in the chat that when he fell down the stairs, somebody behind him said, "Oh no, John." I'm not gonna lie to you, that was hilarious. And then when Donnie kind of motivates him to get back up the stairs, there's a scene where he knocks somebody down and shoots them, but because he's blind, he doesn't know they're dead because they're still firing around him. So he's just randomly firing shots in all directions. I was dying laughing. I audibly laughed out loud.
I didn't have that kind of experience in this movie where people in the theater were vocal. I had an experience in John Wick 3 where the beginning of John Wick 3, when John Wick beats up Ernest, the Bobin, the basketball player, and he kills him with a book. There's a dude like 4 rows behind me. The theater was fucking packed. There's a dude like 4 rows behind me that goes, "God damn, John, the movie ain't even start yet."
I kept trying to like see if Bobin's hands were like rubbery because they're just so big, and then I'm like, no, these fucking
that's his hands, dude.
Those are his hands.
He's fucking huge.
They look like the hot dog hands from Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah,
they're just massive, just messed up. Oh man, what a fun ride! I mean, the whole thing, and of course, I mean, there's okay. Everybody says it's a perfect movie. I got one note. One note at the end. We only hear one gunshot. Everybody hears one gunshot. Ian McShane does not need to have a punchline before the marquee gets shot. Doesn't need to have. He didn't shoot his gun. Blam! No, it should have just happened, right? That would have been it. And then, of course, like the ending too with the tombstones and things like that. The dog just starts walking off. I'm like, is he dead? Is he dead?
They've already greenlit John Wick 5. He's not dead. He's obviously not dead.
That's great.
Want him to be dead because honestly, I think this is a fitting close to the like. Yeah, to this. I think it's great. Like, don't milk the fucking cow if the cow's dry. But like, they're gonna make John Wick 5. The Continental's gonna do fucking gangbusters when it comes out. Ballerina's gonna do gangbusters when it comes out. They're gonna do a spinoff with Donnie Yen. They've already talked about it. They're gonna do a spinoff.
What?
The Tracker. Nobody. Like, all of that shit's gonna happen. It's gonna turn into its own thing. They're already talking about a fucking video game.
Just don't let it become fucking Fast and Furious. Or the only thing that's consistent through every movie is the word family. I just don't need to fucking see that shit. Like, oh, we're fighting in space. float.
My wife and I had a very interesting conversation about Fast and the Furious last night. Like, so she was talking to her work friends, and like they were kind of like ragging on the Fast and the Furious, and like, cards on the table. I love those movies,
and she's like, "Shut your fucking mouth."
And she's like, and the reason why we love those movies is because like when we started dating, fucking 19 years ago almost, Tokyo Drift was coming out.
Oh shit.
And like we bonded over that, and like also the Latin American influence in those characters, in like, you know, the Torettos and all of that. So like we bonded over that. So we've like seen every single one of them as they come out. Have they gotten fucking crazy? Absolutely. But will I go see Fast 10 when it comes out in theaters? 100%.
They're fun, man. I mean, if you're going for like Oscar-winning acting, you're there for the wrong fucking reason. Like, no offense to everybody in that series, but it's just fun.
I'm trying to think if there's ever been an actor or actress in Fast and the Furious that has won an Oscar. I think the only one that may be close, Helen Mirren. I don't know if she's
pretty sure it might be it.
Like Helen Mirren might be the only one.
Yeah, I keep forgetting she's in those.
That's right. She's Jason Statham and Luke Evans' mother.
Yeah.
Charlize Theron won.
That's fair.
She won one for Monster.
There you go.
Right.
Well played. Look at that. Mm-hmm. The man in the chair. We never should have doubted you, man. No, dude, those movies are fun. And to your point, like I think the first three, me and the buddies used to go watch the movies. And then
I saw Tokyo Drift like 6 times in theaters.
Dude, I bought the album.
Like, the album was on
CD.
Banger. Okay?
I don't know if you kids know what CDs are, but I had that thing. It was awesome.
Right.
Awesome. But
have you caught up on Ted Lasso?
Yes.
Or you watched the first 2 episodes? I haven't watched the 3rd episode, but you watched the first 2 episodes?
Oh yeah.
The CD thing where he's like, go get the CD out of my car, or out of my, and he's like, what's a CD?
Ted Lasso's breakup mix, yeah. Ted Lasso, man. So I think we've crossed over into the point where like it's becoming a parody of itself a little bit. Like they know what jokes hit and how they hit,
but it still hits. That's the problem. I don't get like. Usually, when you kind of like go to that every single time, by the 3rd season or maybe even the 2nd season, those jokes are like meh. But the charisma that those actors have, like, I mean, Juno Temple as Keeley, Hannah Waddingham, who, Lord Jesus.
Yeah. Shame on me. You know what I'm saying?
You know, Jason Sudeikis is a comic genius, I think. You know, even what's his face? The guy who plays Jamie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he is like come into his own and has been hilarious too.
By the way, so like that's kind of what I mean. So like this 3rd season, you're getting a little bit extra of that, but like I think we finally like hit the point where they're going to go a little bit more into backstories. Like Colin, right? In this 3rd episode, he gets a little bit more information. I'm not going to blow what that is, but he's like, all right, cool. We're starting to shape out these other people. Yeah. But Jamie Tart suddenly. Damn, you haven't seen the 3rd episode. I don't want to give away too much. But long story short,
I know that he's like, I know that because they got Zava, who is Zlatan Ibrahimovic, like completely based off of him.
Yeah.
I know that has thrown him for a loop because like now he's kind of like encroaching on his territory,
right?
And then like is fucking up the team dynamic. So I know that that's going to play heavily coming up. So
the thing I think that you'll notice, and maybe I'm giving away too much here, but what is that he's secretly smart?
Yes, he is.
Like somebody calls him out on something and he corrects them. Like everything he's saying is dumb and stupid, and then like as he walks away, he's like, "That's not blah blah blah. It's actually that." And it's like they're like, "Huh?" And they look at each other to confirm, like, "Oh, he's right. Oh shit." like that.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, even back to the first season where he's like, where they ask him like if you want to be a bear or something, he's like, why would I want to be anybody but me? Ted's like, I don't think you understand how emotionally healthy that statement is.
Love that show. God, it's good.
Yeah, it's a good show. A lot of good TV going on right now. I know that like we don't have like, I mean, I know that we're gonna touch briefly on The Mandalorian. I'm like 3 episodes behind on The Mandalorian.
Still great 3 episodes, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like 3 episodes behind, but it's impossible to stay away from spoilers at this point from The Mandalorian, just because like you're on the internet. Like I know about who saved Grogu from the fucking
the Jedi Temple to Order 66, yes.
Yeah, from Order 66, which is a great callback because like that dude caught so much hate for being Jar Jar Binks, and like Jar Jar's not nearly as bad as some of the other characters that have been in this fucking series. You know, the last thing I saw in the actual show was the Mythosaur at the end of the episode where they where Bo-Katan saves Din from the waters.
Yes.
Yeah. So
how awesome is that thing? I mean,
yeah, it's the first time we've seen it.
Exactly.
All we've seen is the damn skull for years.
I'm like, to me, it's funny because it's like, okay, that's a huge skull. I wonder what that thing would look like, but like, none of the skulls that I've ever seen are the right size.
Yeah.
And then
I said Bo-Katan. Yeah, she has
Bo-Katan.
You could quote me on record here and saying that Bo-Katan has the best ass in Star Wars.
Bro. It's amazing to me that she's still the first person to voice her character in an animated show and then still be able to be the physical person in a live action.
Right. It awesome. Kills it. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think you were born to be this character? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I fucking was.
Just look at me.
Like a bowl of oatmeal. Thick. It's funny, even now, like, you know, Michelle, we watched the show, and even now, like today, I sent her a TikTok, and it was, at first, it's just whatever meme. It was like the mom from the Goldbergs just shoving popcorn in her mouth, and it's like, everybody watching today's episode of Mandalorian, and then it cuts real hard to her staring at the camera and being like, icky, sticky bubble gum, watching like bullshit YouTube because her kid is like 2 years old. That's all he wants to watch. She's just like, and then it cuts. Like she's losing her fucking mind while everybody else is enjoying her work. It's just priceless. But no, man, she's Battlestar Galactica to this. Even I mean, not going to give myself away here, but the third Chronicles of Riddick.
Listen, I loved all of the Chronicles of Riddick movies. Okay, and they're doing a new one called Furia. Well, I will go see it. But I know what you're talking.
They're doing a new one.
Yeah, it's called Furia.
Well, had that. Well, I guess is it. All right, dumb question time. Is it going to be post the last one, or is it going to be prequels?
I think
Fury is destroyed.
It's going to be post the last one.
Okay.
Or it's got to be. No, it has to be post the last one. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I just love how they wrote off everything that happened in Chronicles of Riddick for the movie Riddick. They're like, what happened to this person? Oh, she died. What happened to this person? Oh, he died.
Dead. Speaking of Chronicles of Riddick, okay, who plays the wife of Carl Urban in that movie? Sandy
Newton, yeah.
Huh? And then who's her daughter? What show is she in? She's in The Last of Us as the daughter of Pedro Pascal in the first episode. Boom. Looks just like her mom. Crazy.
The daughter of Danny Newton is Pedro Pascal's kid in The Last of Us?
Yes.
I had no idea. She does look like her mom.
It's wild, bro. I'm like, oh, that's crazy. Yeah. Some good genes. That's crazy. But yep, here we go. Nice. Thirst trap, Pedro Pascal image here for everybody at home. You know, put it on your phone background every time you just want to get some motivation. So the funny thing is, before Last of Us dropped and before obviously Mando season 3 came up, Michelle and I started watching the show Narcos.
Yeah.
And of course, I think it was like episode 4 or whatever. He's finishing hooking up with an informant, and gets a nice little top pube shot as he pulls his pants on. I'm like, oh, great, Michelle's gonna love that. And of course, what happens? Oh yeah, she's like, oh, just see that, just see that little bit of top tough. I'm like, yeah, I saw his baby pubes. What are you talking about? I got a full coat of it. You want to see some of that?
Like a sweater.
I can never take off. Yeah, but yeah, so that kicked the whole thing off. Then it was like Last of Us, and then bam, Mandalorian's back. I mean, we've made the joke. Everybody's made the joke. He's fantastic at being like a dad, a surrogate dad for like lost kids.
Yeah,
awesome. But
so I mean, you know, I think I'm trying to remember. Like the first thing that I ever saw him in was as Oberyn Martell in Game of Thrones, and then I watched Narcos shortly thereafter.
Yes.
But
that's the first thing I ever remember. Like, remember. I'm sure I've seen the episodes
for 4 episodes before he gets his fucking face crushed in, and he's the most charismatic character on that show. And I'm like, I love you. You're incredible.
And that's why he dies, because the minute you care.
Before the whole Pedro Pascal thing, like what I want to say is that I'm going to get on my soapbox about being Latin American. You know, the fact that we have in Star Wars Pedro, Rosario, an Oscar, as like, and Diego.
I said, can't leave them out.
Front runners of all of these shows. I'm in it. My favorite joke from John Leguizamo when he did Sexaholics, like back when he was young, he did Sexaholics stand up, and he's talking about his grandmother, and she's like, my grandmother was like a conspiracy theorist and would say, you know why there are no Puerto Ricans on Star Trek is because they don't plan to keep us around for the future.
Oh shit. Okay, that's a good joke.
It's a great joke. I love John Leguizamo. He's incredible.
What did I just saw him on that Daily Show recently. It's funny, like, you know, he can be on shows and you're like, man, John's getting old, you know, and then just a little bit of makeup in the right light, like, he fucking never ages.
He looks great.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah. Then of course we got that's okay. Tiny segue. We got Mario coming out. I still think it's hilarious that there is a world that we live in where John Leguizamo was Luigi. Like, how ridiculous is that?
John Leguizamo put out bangers in the 90s, dude. Mario Brothers, The Pest,
Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet. Yes. I loved Romeo and Juliet. I thought that was like, I honestly think that's Baz Luhrmann's best movie. I couldn't fucking stand Elvis, and I thought The Great Gatsby was okay. Moulin Rouge is fine. But like, yeah, Romeo and Juliet was great.
Mike says, hey, I love that movie.
What movie?
I don't know. Wasn't all of them?
Mario Brothers? Is he talking about Mario Brothers?
A play on both your houses. Oh, there you go. Yeah,
Romeo and Juliet. I love Romeo and Juliet.
It's so good. It's so good. Oh, god damn it! What is her name? Juliet movie. Claire Danes. Yes,
she's like 14 in that movie.
What's wild is then you fast forward and watch her in Homeland. You're like, that's the same person. That's weird.
Yeah. You also see her in, was it Master of None, where she cheats on the guy with Aziz.
God, good time.
How about what's his name? Jamie Kennedy as one of the Montague brothers.
Right? Right? I'm like, you definitely should. Hopefully you cashed in on that role. It was like the Scream, you know, and there was Scream 2 and then Romeo and Juliet. Like, I guess Scream 6 just came out. I haven't seen it, but we got Wednesday Addams in there somewhere, but I heard it's good.
Jamie Kennedy did those movies and was like, all right, I'm going to do Malibu's Most Wanted.
I mean, again, it's I feel like there's, so it's just, I'm gonna make sense in 2 seconds. Jamie Kennedy during that time period, if he didn't squeeze that juice for as hard as it was worth and then just sit on that money, dumb. Ana de Armas right now, she's in the process of doing the same thing. She's in everything. She's showing up everywhere. If she's not squeezing the juice out of that moment, she needs to sit on that shit. Yeah. Jonathan,
she's not that great of an actress. I mean,
your words. Not mine.
I honestly, like, everything that I've seen her in, I'm like, oh, it's Ana de Armas. Everybody thinks she's gorgeous. I think Florence Pugh is better and is a much better actress than Ana de Armas.
I mean, we know I've got a thing for Dario, but she is. Michelle and I started watching the Mayfair Witches, which is a Anne Rice story, right? It's on AMC.
Alexander Daddario has about the emotional range of paper.
It's just trash. It's bad. It's bad.
I'd say fucking Kristen Stewart has better emotional range than Alexander Daddario. I get it.
No. Yeah, definitely.
And I love the Mayfair Witches because I read all those books. Witching Hour, Witching Hour is the first one. Not Tall, but I can't remember. All those Anne Rice books.
You could have lied to me and I would have been like, oh yeah, those. No.
Yeah, no, I read. Yeah, those were really good. But what I will say is I loved I didn't really care for the Mayfair. Like, I watched the first episode of the Mayfair Witches and I was like, man, this is all right. I watched the entire thing of Interview with the Vampire and I was like completely enthralled.
Pretty great.
I thought it was incredible.
Pretty damn great. I mean,
it really departs from the book in a lot of ways, but I was totally cool with it. The guy who plays David, the reporter, who anytime if they
AKA
ever
Anthony Bourdain Part 2, fucking, if he doesn't start making scrambled eggs in one of those episodes, I'm gonna lose it.
I was like, this is crazy.
Oh man, cut. So many good shows, so many good things. But let's bring it full circle back to Pedro Pascal. I was trying to think about this earlier, like who I think would have been just as good, but in a different way in these two roles, right? And my brain was like, as a surrogate father to a kid who's just got something special about him, and then my brain was like, John Candy. John Candy would be great.
Bro,
it's like,
put John Candy in The Mandalorian. I'm with you. Fuck, dude. Now I want John Candy in The Mandalorian.
Look at Paz Vizsla.
John Candy. I fucking love John Candy.
John Candy. Would have
Uncle
been
Buck?
amazing.
Are you kidding me?
That's exactly what I was like. Yes, giant fucking pancakes. Let's go.
Yo,
Grogu, eat up. We're gonna go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna go some shit like Hugh Jackman, and I'd be like, man, whatever.
No,
yeah, John Candy. That is an idea right there.
Oh god,
I watched The Great Outdoors recently,
bro.
I fucking love that movie.
Bro. I didn't realize that in one of those movies. So I listened to the episode. I'm gonna call them out. Confused Breakfast. I don't know if you listen to that podcast at all. They go over like that show that movie in detail. And one of the things they point out is the Star Wars glasses they're all drinking from. And I was like, wait, what? And I looked it up. I was like, I have these fucking glasses. And immediately I was like much more excited about these stupid little glasses.
Yeah,
1986.
It's so good. I love that.
Yeah. Great movie. Summer Rental, another one slept on, but yeah.
I will say the whole thing, like, so with Pedro Pascal, there's like two things that like worry me about him.
Okay.
One, I don't want him to like just get typecasted like Ryan Reynolds did, where like just put him in everything. Because I think he actually is a very talented actor, whereas I think Ryan Reynolds rides off the chops that he's funny and charming, which is fine. But like, no disrespect to Ryan, Pedro's a much better actor.
Stay in your lane. Yeah.
And then the other thing is like, we get it. He's gorgeous. He's hilarious. The people that are interviewing this guy need to start taking him more seriously than what, like, because every interview that it's in, it's like, you're a heartthrob, you're a heartthrob. I'm like, that's great. That's nice and all. But like, after a year of that going on, like,
you're a slutty daddy.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
But I mean, The Last of Us showed that guy can act his fucking ass off. Like, I mean, you know, he did Oberyn Martell, which was great. He played Narcos, where he played essentially the same character but in tighter pants.
Right.
He played Whiskey in The Kingsman 2, which again is the same character as Oberyn Martell, but in a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
You know, he's been in some duds like that superhero movie on Netflix, which kind of reminded me of Spy Kids, but wasn't Spy Kids.
Right, where the kids are the superheroes, right?
Yeah. Which is fine, but I mean, like, everybody was really apprehensive about him and Bella Ramsey as Joel and Ellie. And I think that, I mean, when you watch scenes side by side of the game and the show, and you're like, fuck, they nailed this. There's never been an adaptation of a video game property like that. And I mean, fucking Pedro acted his fucking dick off. I mean, Bella acted, I mean, killed it, knocked it out of the park too. I know that everybody is like, all right, we're ready for some more Joel and Ellie action in season 2. And don't be, but
let me throw this spoiler up real quick. I haven't.
Hopefully, you remember what happened in Game of Thrones, because that's what's going to happen in season 2.
I haven't played Last of Us 1. I haven't played Part 2, but I do know 100%, unfortunately, how things roll out for Joel in Part 2.
It ain't great,
and that's jacked up. That's again the algorithm being what it is. It's fine until it fucking spoils shit for me. Right now, I'm watching Picard on Amazon Prime. It's great. It's got all the old actors and all their old roles from like Deep Space Nine and stuff like that. And just the Star Trek Next Generation. That's great. But again, like shit's getting spoiled. Like, dude, the episode's not even out yet, and just people are working on the project and dropping knowledge. I'm like, come on, man. Just save me. Give me. Great segue into Mandalorian. Katie M. O'Brien, who's been great, right? She in Mando. She plays a character who used to be an Imperial soldier. Now she's not. She was
in Ant-Man Quantumania.
There you go. Yeah. Exactly. Ant-Man.
She is fucking ripped and jacked.
I'm terrified. But I will say,
I was you with a closed fist.
Bro, I was pissed. It was 10:30 in the morning, and she drops, I had a great day. Sorry, spoilers ahead. And then a small paragraph, but a giant fucking picture of her, who she's standing next to, is like one of the surprise people in the episode. I'm just like, fuck, why did you do this to me?
Yeah.
Now I know who's going to be in the episode, and it was irritating. I'm like, wait a day, dude. Like, you're in the show.
Eddie O'Brien's too old to be Abby. Mike. She's way too old to be Abby in the show, unfortunately.
But they've already shown Abby.
I don't know if they've shown Abby. I think that they showed
the girl watching her behind the pillar, right?
No, that was her love interest in the second game.
Wait, so that's not Abby.
That's not Abby. Abby is someone very different.
Got it. Okay. Well, I know Abby is the baddie. How about that? That's limited, as I'll give it. And the Great Hector is epic. Yes, Mahaffey. I'm sorry, I'm not even looking at chat. I'm just getting so excited chatting it up.
Mike brings up a point about people were hesitant about Bella and Pedro because Ashley Johnson and Troy Baker were those characters. I think that that's mostly true. I think that everybody gives Bella Ramsey a bunch of shit because she doesn't look like fucking Ellen Page. Like, it is very clear that Ellie was based off of Ellen Page when Ellen Page was Ellen Page and not Elliot Page.
Yeah. There's a whole lawsuit about it.
Right. And everybody was just super upset about it.
But yeah, I mean, and that's, again, we go to this like really fucking tight world about, if it doesn't look like the source material, it's not as good. Well, go fuck yourself. These characters can be played by whoever. They are characters. They are imaginary people. They don't exist. They don't exist, and they can be whatever we want them to be. And you've got writers for the game assisting the entire show. Like, you can't tell me they don't have a say in that. Like, it's crazy. It's bonkers to me that people got bent on the ship about that personally. Unless they want Elliot.
It's whitewashing. Iron Fist is white. He's not played by an Asian actor.
Dude,
Danny Rand's a white guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
His name is Danny Rand.
Just fucking goddamn it. I heard they're already filming, supposedly, according to the guy who plays Kingpin, Vince
D'Onofrio.
Thank you. He was saying they're already shooting season 2 for
D'Onofrio is the king of not keeping his fucking mouth shut about what's happening in the MCU, and I fucking love it.
It's him and Michael goddamn Keaton. They don't give a shit. And it's like, what'd you do this weekend? No, I did some filming. Oh, for what? For
Batman.
For Vulture. Yeah. No, like Spider-Man? Like, yeah. Like, are you supposed to say that? I don't care. It's like, yes.
You've seen the pictures of Harrison Ford on the set of the Thunderbolts or Captain America New World Order?
No.
So, like, there's pictures of him, and like Thunderbolt Ross in the comic books is very known for having a mustache, and like Harrison Ford clearly doesn't have a mustache in the pictures, and everybody's like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure the studio went to Harrison Ford and was like, hey, grow a mustache,' and he was like, fuck you, I'm not doing
that." No. That would be
because it's Harrison Ford, and he can pretty much do whatever he wants.
That's the best. I think, like, so it's okay. So here's what's fucked, and I realized I just did it to myself. We just mentioned 3 people who were like, yeah, good for them being like whatever, spoiling the shit out of stuff. I just got real fucking butthurt about Katie O'Brien being like throwing a picture on her own Twitter, spoiling 1 episode of Mandalorian. I apologize, Katie M.O. Miller or M. O'Brien, but damn, man, I was excited to watch the show. I'll forget about this shit with fucking Michael Keaton doing vulture stuff until everybody else mentions it and it comes out spoilers. But yeah, I gotta keep it equal. So fuck you, Michael Keaton. Fuck you, Vincent D'Onofrio.
Watch it.
Yeah,
Michael Keaton is a treasure.
Is he right behind me? Yes, he is. He's Batman.
I think that's Jim Lee's Batman.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Wow.
It's funny. I mentioned that to my parents. Like they're like, "Oh my god, this friend." I was like, "This is awesome. It's Jim Lee's Batman." They're like, "Who?"
And
I'm like,
don't
"Never
worry about
mind.
it.
Not a big deal. I'll just enjoy myself with it." But now my kid can't stop trying to touch it though. It's like,
hands off, child.
Yeah, get away. I've already made the mistake of, all right, so for people listening to the podcast, sorry in advance, but the next 60 seconds is going to be annoying. Behind me is a poster of the first Detective Comics, and it's cracked in the bottom corner where my microphone is pointing here.
How did that happen?
Because my dumbass decided to buy an extra large chair.
Oh, you bought a Secret Lab.
That also has...
Looks like the Batman Secret Lab.
It is.
Nice.
But it's so big that it constantly bangs against this on the wall.
I tried to go gaming chair
off the wall
and I sit in my... I think I just sit in my chair for so long for work, and it fucked up my back so bad that I ended up having to buy like a steel case gesture, which is like ergonomic so that it doesn't fuck up my back.
I no joke. If anybody from work listens to this later, they'll know. I stole. So this one guy was sitting against the window at my job, and the minute he quit, I moved my shit. I'm like, I'm getting this fucking against the window. Heavier set gentleman. I didn't realize that he went and got them to buy him a special chair. It's huge. It's awesome. It's just, I'm like, man, I fucking could rule a lot of empires from this seat, right? And then unfortunately, I did the same thing I did with this chair. Then so instead of knocking over posters behind me, there's this pillar dividing the giant windows of the building, and it's just got marks all up and down. You're starting to see like through the sheetrock down to like the metal framing. I'm like, fuck this wall. When I leave,
I think my work needs to spring for some better chairs for us at the office too. So
yeah, man. But you got that fancy job though. You know what I'm saying? You got that.
I mean, I do have a fancy job, but
I mean, my job has 4 letters in the title, but you're a 3-letter job title.
It's a 3-letter organization.
Yeah, you win KFC, FBI, PBS. Oh yeah. Oh, that's awesome. All right, so wrapping things up, Mandalorian season 3 has definitely kicked off really hard. Obviously, Bo-Katan being Bo-Katan. The Mandalorians themselves being just complete zealot dickheads or whatever. Then like finally coming around to terms for certain things. I'm just excited again that Grogu is just being Grogu.
Yeah,
it's like he's just happy to be there. He's like, oh, I get to be in this scene. Okay, great. And I love the interview I saw with on Hot Ones with Pedro Pascal, where he was like talking about working with Grogu, and he's like, that thing like emotes, kind of it like makes cooing sounds. Now I'm sitting there going, you fucking relax, buddy. It's one scene to get to take my fucking helmet off and show my face. Why don't you stop stealing the scene? Like that's got to be frustrating when the little animatronic robot is stealing your thunder. But good stuff. I hope the rest of the season picks up and continues to be on par with like the wow factors that we're seeing. This last episode felt like a filler. I won't say anything about what happened in it. It felt kind of but at the same time, I'm sure it's pivotal for the next couple of episodes for the rest of the season.
It's world building.
Right. But no, it's nice to see Pedro Pascal overlap 2 shows that are critically acclaimed in like a solid week. But I hope he gets a little bit of good rest. Unfortunately, he couldn't join the show. I did send out the invite, but weird that he didn't get back to us. But yeah, I had a great time. I hope you did too, Dom. Anything before we end the show and wrap things up?
No, let's like not wait 6 months to do another episode.
Yes, I did reach out to Stevie Hayes from TikTok. It was last minute. I knew I wasn't going to get a response quick enough, but maybe next time we'll have another special guest. One of these big up and coming TikToker folks. But as always, I'm Ernie Hawkins.
I'm Dom Ervin.
And thank you for watching Joystick Maverick. Peace.